Imagine starting your morning with the warm kiss of sunshine on your skin, only to brace for a wild windstorm by nightfall. That's exactly the kind of rollercoaster day we're having in the garden today. Sun face, wind face before the winds howl through, we're diving into some exciting tasks. Moving a blooming Espalier pear tree, rehoming a towering Maximilian sunflower, and planting some lush new hostas. Let's get our hands dirty and make the most of this beautiful, bustling morning. It's one of the first mornings where the sun already feels strong, heating the garden in a way that's honestly refreshing. But with a major shift in weather on the horizon, highs dropping from the 70s today to the 50s tomorrow, we know gusty winds are coming, and fast. So, today's plan is to squeeze in as much planting as possible before the storm hits. But first, we have a special mission, dealing with the Espalier pear tree that's been patiently waiting for a permanent home. Aaron is on his way to help decide where this Asian pear, likely a shinseki, should finally live. You might remember seeing it behind the greenhouse in its battered old raised bed. Despite all the moves and neglect, it's thriving, absolutely covered in blooms. There's a small section that needs a bit of pruning, but otherwise, it's in fantastic shape. We're thinking through a few potential spots, like centering it on the east side of the orchard fence where it would bask in all-day sun, or maybe tucking it behind the flower shed against the solid wall. Oddly enough, finding a blank wall for it has turned out to be tougher than expected. While we're out here, we're also doing a bit of tidying up, moving old concrete pieces, considering the fate of a weed-ridden raised bed, which Bethany might adopt, and noticing that our climbing rose desperately needs some attention. A quick weaving of its branches through the orchard fence makes a huge difference, just in time for Aaron's arrival. Discussing the pair's final home, we realize that every good option comes with a maze of underground conduit lines and sprinkler systems. Whether by the orchard fence or behind the flower shed, digging a hole big enough for the pear's root ball could become a logistical nightmare, potentially hitting electrical wiring or irrigation lines. It's feeling more and more like the easier and kinder option, for both us and the tree, is to send it to Bethany's garden, where it can thrive without obstacles. Bethany has already shown interest, and honestly, it feels right. Moving it would require less trauma to the roots, and it would free up mental space for us, too. Besides, if we ever want another Espalier pear someday, we can always get a smaller one from Andrews and start fresh. So, we agree, the pear tree will go to Bethany, and we'll breathe a little easier. The energy of the morning is just electric, literally and figuratively. With the windstorm predicted to sweep in tonight, the garden is buzzing with urgency and potential. It's the kind of day that feels like both a deadline and a new beginning. With that in mind, attention turns to the Espalier pear tree, a gorgeous Asian variety, likely a shinseki, bursting with blooms. It's a sight to behold, a living sculpture thriving despite being temporarily rooted in a forgotten raised bed. The plan is to finally decide its forever home, or maybe not. Laura walks us through the possibilities. First thought, the east side of the orchard fence. It gets sun almost all day, and visually, it would balance the space. Another contender. The wall behind the flower shed. Strong, solid, and sun-kissed, it feels like a practical backdrop. But there's a twist. Hidden underground lies a complicated network of electrical conduits and sprinkler lines, throwing a wrench into every ideal location. Aaron arrives, and together they problem-solve like seasoned garden sleuths, trying to avoid the classic trap of digging the perfect hole, only to hit a tangle of cables. Meanwhile, there's multitasking at its best. Laura tends to a climbing rose that's been leafing out ahead of schedule, weaving its eager branches neatly into the orchard fence. It's the kind of small task that brings instant gratification, a little garden therapy before diving back into tree logistics. Back at the Espalier, things get more philosophical. They weigh the practical versus the emotional. Bethany, a family friend, has had her eye on the pear tree for years and would gladly give it a home. With one major decision checked off, the garden calls again. There's still more to do, cleaning up leftover materials, moving a raised bed, and checking in on trampoline building fun in the background. Even amid the chaos, there's a rhythm. It's the beautiful balance of structured work and spontaneous joy that only gardening days seem to bring. That's next on the list. Its towering golden spires, a summer promise waiting to be relocated. Paired with the new hosta plantings and the subtle satisfaction of ticking off tasks before the windstorm hits, the day unfolds like a patchwork quilt, bit by bit, bloom by bloom. With that decision made, we turn our attention back to cleaning up the area. It's amazing to see the space open up without the clutter of unused beds and random plants. Meanwhile, the kids are busy assembling the trampoline nearby, getting ready for some backyard fun. Chad is supposed to dig the hole for it today, and it sounds like a deep one, but not the whole trampoline will be buried, just enough for safer jumping. And that's the beauty of days like this. Even with unexpected shifts and changing plans, there's always progress, a little laughter, and the satisfaction of making the garden just a bit better than it was the day before. Herb Spark